Hi, my name is Taryn, and I'd like to answer some facts about Satan and demons from the Bible. Many people come to experience the reality of evil, these evil presences outside of the scriptures. I was talking to Julie, who as a teenager once woke up in the middle of the night, in the middle of this darkness, this heaviness, this fear, this terror. And she'd just recently become a Christian, and she managed just to pray, Jesus, 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 and this fear and darkness disappeared. The next day she went to church and somebody came and prayed for her and said, I've got this vision of these little demons just harassing you with fear and terror and darkness. And you just say the words, Jesus, 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 and they flee. And of course, God was helping to understand what had happened the night before. Well, shortly after that, she's in the car with her mother, and they're giving one of the farm workers a lift to the hospital. She's sitting there with her brother. And at a certain point, while they're driving, suddenly there's this male voice that comes from the back. Julie spins around, and this female farm worker suddenly looks terrifying, and he's speaking like this deep-voiced man. The brother says, go to the church, not the hospital. Apparently they took her to this church where the pastors prayed for her, and she came out just sweet and placid and happy, freshly delivered apparently. What are the names of Satan? There are many different names in the Bible. The word Satan means adversary. The name devil means slanderer or accuser. He is called Beelzebub, which means Lord of the Flies. He is called the morning star, translated as Lucifer. He is called our tempter. He is called our enemy. He is called the evil one. He is called the God of this age. And he is called the prince of the power of the air. What are demons? Well, apparently they are fallen angels. Revelation 12 speaks about the devil, the great serpent and dragon, being hurled to the earth and taking a third of the angels with him. Can Satan communicate with God? Job 1 tells us that the angels and Satan came and presented themselves to God, and the Lord said to Satan, hey, where have you been? And he says, I've been roaming the earth back and forth. That's the Old Testament, but it happens in the New Testament in Luke 22, where Jesus says to his friend Simon, he says, Simon, Satan came to me and he asked me if he can sift your life like wheat. What does it mean that Satan fell from heaven? We don't know exactly when he fell. We know that Job 8 tells us that the angels were created before the earth. We also know from Genesis 3 that Satan fell morally from God before Adam and Eve did. So anywhere between before the creation of the world and before the fall of humankind, Satan fell. Why does he fall? Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28 speak about these ancient kings, but in a profoundly metaphoric way, referring to some kind of anointed angel. Most Bible scholars take this to be a reference to the fall of Satan, who was enticed by his own beauty and in vanity and pride wanted the worship that only God deserved. So he fell from God because of this. And of course, when he tempts the human race, he appeals to the very same thing: vanity, independence from God, and pride. And how did Satan fall from heaven? Well, to be fair, he didn't fall, he was pushed. The disciples come to Jesus and say, we have seen demons cast out of people, and they're rejoicing at the power of God's name. And Jesus says, that's nothing. I was there when Satan fell like lightning from the sky. It was a spectacular cosmic exorcism. Well, that may have been spectacular, but Revelation suggests that Satan's final ending isn't that spectacular. God simply commands another angel to cast Satan into the lake of fire. All the angels are there, plus Jesus, to witness the tragic ending to a once magnificent being.